Should men approach women? Well, yes and no. Let's see why you should approach women, and let's see why you should not approach women. There are many reasons why you should approach a woman. First of all, it takes a lot of courage. You eat a lot of humble pie and you learn a lot of skills. It pretty much makes you a great salesman, because why you want to approach women? You want to approach women because you want to be with them sexually, physically, intimately. You want something from them. So you need to sell yourself to them. And because you need to sell yourself to them, you have to go through numbers. You have to approach hundreds of them, no matter who you are. Unless you're Drake, maybe, but he doesn't need to approach. But for us, mere mortals, who squander our time in the street, you be more courageous, disciplined, consistent, caring, and bold. Those are great qualities to develop as a man. But also, you need to eat a lot of humble pie, because you will get rejected a lot. And that takes a lot for the male ego to get used to. And once you understand that you will get a lot of no's, and the no is okay, it's not going to kill you, you can get better even as a human being. It will make you understand women, because no matter how many movies you watch, no matter how many books you read or how many YouTube videos you consume, the reality is in the streets. You will see woman nature at its very best, for better or for worse, but at least you won't be naive. So the best way to learn about women is approaching them, because it doesn't get realer than the streets. So yeah, that's also a great thing to have in your arsenal, the ability to understand and seduce women. Okay, but those are the reasons why you should approach. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but if I forget something, I'll just go back to the reasons why you should approach. But anyway, let me go towards the reasons why you should not approach. The number one reason why you should not approach is because it's a waste of time. What I'm trying to say is the time you allocate towards approaching one, because it will take some time, could be used to something different. And only that, I talked about the failures, but what about the success? Because most of the guys who approach women at one point or another will have more women that they can deal with. Why? Because if you approach 100 women and you get 10 out of them, or even 5 out of them to date you, to have sex with you, that's 5 women. And maybe you approach 100 this month, that's 5 women in a month. That's a lot to deal with. And over time, if you approach, how many women can you have? The thing is, like, you get a lot of no's, but you also get a lot of yes. There's only one you, and there's all those women that said yes to you. So it can be time consuming, to say the least. And of course, it will take away some of your energy, your time, and your money. So those are things you need to think about. It can be really, really time consuming and a huge waste of time. Also, this is a follow-up to what I just said. When you get success with women by approaching them, when will you ever be satisfied? Because yes, it makes you more daring, courageous, bold. What do you want to do with all of this? Do you want to smash everything that boasts, and you want to get your numbers into the 3 digits? Is that what you want? Is it not another waste of time? Having one woman after another? Because it makes sense that if you are having success with women, why would you settle? You can just keep another one. You will always want more variety. Same thing goes with porn. If you just keep on watching porn, you will just build more tolerance and want more kinky stuff, and more quantity, more quality, more variety, more kinkiness. Can apply to women as well. You approach them and get 10 this month, maybe 20 in the next few months, maybe 30. Then you go travel abroad and you get them as well in a foreign country. So when does it stop? So it could be a vicious cycle, a drug even. So is this consumption, this mass consumption, good for you? Spiritually, physically? Does it help you grow? Does it make you more compassionate, wiser, stronger, more contemplative? Does it help you with what you really want in life? Or do you get confused with all the women that you don't really know what you want with them, except for sexual gratification, or date multiple ones? But at one point after, you're just chasing the dragon of just hooking up for the fun of it and just wanting something. And then as soon as it gets boring, you want something else. That can be a huge trap. So ideally, let me finish this video, this podcast. Ideally, you will want to get better with women by approaching them, but you don't need to sleep with all of them. You should be spinning plates, as Rollo Tomasi would call it. not a huge fan of holotomasi, but this is a good term. You should be spinning plate, meeting a lot of them and getting to know women, getting to be courageous and brave and bold by approaching them, but not necessarily sleeping with all of them, dismissing a lot of them, just spending time with them, but not giving them your all. Then maybe you would choose someone you like the most and build something with her. Or not. Depends on what you want. So ideally, you want to approach your one, but at the same time, let go of all the trauma and fears and self-limiting beliefs you might have. Maybe you have trauma because there's a part of you that hates women, or you're a sex addict, or you're addicted to it. All of this. Approaching women can bring up a lot of stuff that you had maybe repressed and suppressed in the past. Maybe you should work on those, and not go insane, because I guess success with women comes with a price as well. Don't get trapped. I'm not saying it's a bad. There's some guys who say that they're talking about semen retention and up and say that they should never approach women. Semen retention is amazing, and I preach it. But you can do semen retention and still approach women. That's why I say I'm not saying they should have sex with everything that moves, but you can have sex and be still on semen retention. I'm a huge no-fap advocate. Porn should not be part of your life, but semen retention can still have a woman, and semen retention is not all the time forever. So it does not stop you. You can do all of this and still approach women, even if you're not having sex with them. Maybe even better to not have sex with them, because you still have to. Because if you let go, but you have no opportunities, you never had sex or you never had an opportunity, what are you let go of, except for frustration? Whereas if you have the temptation and the opportunities and the options, that's something you can let go of and get wiser, more compassionate, and stronger. So that's something to think about as well. So I'm not like all those, I hate to say that, some of the Christian guys who are talking about semen retention and no-fap, I think they go a bit too extreme. We still have to leave the world living, but I come from a more Buddhist background, so I'm more open to, let's say, I'm more about moderation than one extreme. I don't think that necessarily all men should get married and have kids. That's maybe not the case for you, maybe not the case for me. I don't know yet, but don't feel guilty because you want to approach women and want to have sex with women and want to spend time with them. There's nothing wrong. Like, there's a way to go about it. And does it really fulfillment, or are you just chasing your tail? No pun intended. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you very soon.